This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Ceremony begins.
Well, good evening and welcome, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Rogers, administration, parents, teachers, families, friends, and of course, welcome to the class of 2026. My name is John Durante, and I am the very proud principal of Syosset High School, and I would like to welcome everyone to our 68th annual commencement ceremony. And at this time, will you please remain standing and join me in welcoming the senior members of our Adelettes and TBA, that's tenor bass a cappella, who will now sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
How about one more round of applause? And thank you all. You may be seated. Tonight, we come together as a class, a school, and a community to celebrate your graduation from Syosset High School. This is a time to honor your achievements and, just as importantly, to recognize those who helped you reach this moment. Surrounding you are the families who supported you, the teachers who guided you, and the friends who stood beside you. Before we continue, I'd like to recognize a part of education that often goes unrecognized, and that's the families who raise and support us. Long before a student walks through the doors of any school, their education is already underway, and that's because it begins in the home. I have seen families spend countless hours driving, showing up again and again, encouraging, supporting, and simply being present. They celebrate successes, help navigate setbacks, and provide the steady support that allows young people to grow and thrive. And perhaps most importantly, I have seen families believe in their children, sometimes even before those children fully believe in themselves. To all the parents, grandparents, guardians, family members, and loved ones here tonight, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice, your patience, and your unwavering support. Class of 2026, all of you, please stand, turn towards your families and loved ones, and show your appreciation with a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you so much, all. Thank you so much. You may be seated. The theme of this year's yearbook is Our Adventure. That phrase brings to mind travel, exploration, and the road ahead. But I believe adventure is less about distance and more about who we become along the way. Earlier this year, I had a conversation with a member of the senior class that has truly stayed with me. The student was preparing to visit several colleges before making a final decision. Most were close to home, but one school was across the country. During our conversation, the student told me there was very little chance they would actually attend that school, as it was simply too far away. A few weeks later, I learned that the student had actually committed to that very school. The next time I saw them, I congratulated them and admitted that I was surprised. As they reflected on the decision, they realized that staying close to home would have been the comfortable choice. There was nothing wrong with that path. It was familiar and safe. But what stayed with me wasn't where they chose to go. It was their willingness to change their mind. Somewhere between those two conversations, they learned something new about themselves. And that may be one of the most important skills any of us can carry with us into adulthood. Not the ability to have all the answers, but the willingness to revise them. Life rarely unfolds exactly the way we expect. And the people who continue to grow are not those who always know where they are headed. They are the ones who remain open to new experiences, new perspectives, and new possibilities. I suspect many of you already know that, as you are not the same people you were 4 years ago. And that is exactly as it should be. As I look out to the class of 2026, there is something else I noticed. You show up for one another. I have seen it in the hallway after a difficult day. I have seen it in how you celebrate someone's success and how you notice when someone is struggling. A quick word, a check-in, a seat saved at lunch. Small moments that often mean more than we realize. In a world that often rewards individual achievement, that instinct to look out for one another is something worth holding on to, students. Some of you will travel far from home. Others will remain close by. Some will go to college. Others will enter the workforce, pursue a trade, serve our country, or follow paths still unfolding. Whatever path you choose, I hope you carry with you the values that have guided you here. The courage to try something new, the humility to keep learning, and the integrity to do what is right even when it is not the easy thing to do. Among you are students who have chosen to begin their next chapter through selfless service to our country. Students, when I call your name, please stand and let's hold our applause to the end. Jacob Dapis, Army ROTC Scholarship at Villanova University. Rourke Whiteman, United States Army Reserve. Austin Ma, United States Military Academy at West Point. Justin Wen, United States Army. Stephanie Marcheray, United States Air Force Academy. And Rongcheng Wang, United States Marine Corps. Jacob, Rourke, Austin, Justin, Stephanie, and Rongcheng, thank you for your commitment and service. And at this time, I would like to ask all active duty military members, veterans, and anyone who has served our country to please stand. And I want to thank you for your service. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Before I close, I want to leave you with one final thought. One of the privileges of my job is that I hear from graduates years after they leave Syosset High School. Rarely do they tell me that everything went exactly according to plan. The college changes, the major changes, the career changes, sometimes even the dream changes. What they often discover is that adulthood is not about having your future perfectly mapped out. It's about continuing to learn who you are. Tonight, many people will ask you something that will come next, or what will come next? Where are you going? What will you study? What career will you pursue? Those are natural questions, students. But I've come to believe there is a more important question. Not what will you become, but will you keep becoming? That is my hope for each and every one of you, that you remain curious enough to learn, humble enough to listen, confident enough to take chances, and open enough to discover that the person you become may be even better than the person you imagine today. Class of 2026, you have left your mark on our school. More importantly, you have helped shape our school community within it. Syosset is better because of you. On behalf of the faculty and staff, thank you for the contributions you have made and the example you have set. And as your adventure continues, may you never lose your willingness to discover something new about the world, about others, and about yourself. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2026. And now, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Thomas Rogers.
And thank you, John, for the wonderful work you do leading this school. Families, loved ones of our graduates, welcome. And congratulations, class of 2026. I had a startling realization as I was beginning to sketch out my remarks for you. When I first started working in Syosset, you were all in first grade. So I don't know what's worse, how old that makes me feel, or how old that must make me seem. You're perhaps thinking about how much things are about to change, and I'm thinking about how much they already have. I came from a time before Facebook, TikTok, and email, a time when we didn't have to ban cell phones because they didn't exist, a time when high school students still use lockers, a time when 6 and 7 were ordinary numbers. A lot has changed in my lifetime, and a lot is going to change in yours. So I hope we've prepared you, not just for next year, but for a lifetime of adaptation, as Dr. Durante pointed out. There's never been a time without some change, but I feel like the pace is very different now. Even though she lives on the other side of the country, I've been spending more time with my mother as she's aging through her 90s. We're fortunate that her mind is still sharp, even if her body is slowing down. However, we recently bought her a new iPhone, and although she's always been comfortable with new technology, she seems to finally have lost the appetite for learning yet another new thing. I think we can give my mom a pass. She was born in the Great Depression, and she lived through a world war. But I think the rest of us still have a lot of learning left ahead, which makes me wonder when, or if, I'll lose my own appetite for learning new things, and as importantly, whether we've prepared you for a lifetime of adaptation. The internet was my game changer. Artificial intelligence will be yours, and may we each live long enough to see whatever comes after that. But as I think about my mom's long life, I'm struck not by what she learned in schools or how she adapted to technological advances, except of course the iPhone. What shapes my memories are her kindness and care, even into her 90s. So let me share a story. As you may be aware, I have a deaf brother. My parents taught themselves sign language and made us kids learn too, to ensure my brother would never be shut out of a family conversation, no matter how dull. Sharing our boring conversations wasn't the kindness, but ensuring his inclusion certainly was. And it came at a steep cost, countless hours learning a new language. In the 70s and 80s, the world didn't make it easy for deaf people or their families, but instead of complaining, my parents just started filling in the blanks, offering their interpreting services to the local deaf community, teaching sign language to new parents, even interpreting their local church services for an audience of one that eventually grew into a small community. So fast forward now half a century to last year when my mom moved into an assisted living facility and was a little surprised to encounter a deaf woman who was already living there. The woman attended the little non-denominational church service that was held each week, but obviously couldn't get much out of it. So my mom, who hadn't interpreted in decades, started brushing up her skills by watching YouTube videos on a computer, not a phone, and at 92, gave herself a new Sunday assignment. She was filling in the blanks. Class, we've shared 12 years of this journey together, and I've gotten to know so many of you since you were young, and I've watched you grow into wonderful young adults. In preparing my remarks, I sorted through some of the Friday updates to refresh my recollections of your accomplishments as younger people. You are a remarkable class with standout accomplishments in arts, athletics, and academics. But I was primarily struck by your kindness and humanity. For years, your class is found scattered throughout the bright spots. Fighting homelessness, cancer, food insecurity, and intolerance. In short, you've been finding and filling in the blanks. I'm glad my mom was able to adapt to so many things during her lifetime, and she'll probably master the iPhone as soon as she's done scolding it. You too will have to navigate an evolving world ahead. But maybe take a page from my mom's book, Class of 2026. You are kind, generous, thoughtful, and caring. Adapt to whatever may come, but don't change who you are. Keep filling in the blanks. Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers. To speak on behalf of the Board of Education, please help me welcome Carol Chang, President of the Board of Education.
Okay. Members of the board, Dr. Rogers, Dr. Durante, administration, faculty, parents, families, friends, and graduates. It is an honor to be here today on this momentous occasion. Seniors, your time at Syosset High School has reached an end. And remember that every end is a new beginning. Everyone in the Syosset community is united in wishing you luck and success. And remember the experiences you've gained here. They will serve you well in what the future holds for you. If I may, I would like to share one idea that I hope you'll carry with you. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "The only constant in life is change." Or as Bob Dylan sang, "The times they're a-changing." Let's reflect on some of these periods of massive change. 50 years ago, the invention of personal computers changed the world. Companies such as IBM, Microsoft, and Apple were launched during this time and have continued to shape the future of technology. Computing previously had only been available to large corporations, but now available to individuals. Stenographers and telephone operators were careers that were phased out. In exchange, graphic designers and programmers became career options. 20 years ago, the smartphone moved computing from home into your pocket. We suddenly had 24-hour access to much of the world's information in the palm of our hands. Multiple product categories, including MP3 players, GPS devices, and cameras became a single device. Change again impacted businesses and jobs. Organizations and employees had to adopt yet another change. Every graduating class had to navigate the impact of change on their career outlook. Each of these developments had a profound effect on the world, and each generation had to ask itself, how should we adapt to this change? The good news is that we, the district and its students, have a lot of practice adapting to change. Syosset grads are driven, resilient, and forward-thinking. We know that times are challenging, and we are up to the challenge. One of my favorite philosophers, Lao Tzu, once said, "If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading." It's a reminder to us to remain flexible so we do not find ourselves on an undesirable path. Syosset students are incredibly adaptable and tenacious. Be confident in your ability to succeed, regardless of the environment. Your parents, teachers, and community have observed firsthand your ability to overcome all the obstacles you've faced and believe in your ability to continue doing so in the face of any change. Change can be scary, or change can be exciting. Change is also an opportunity. It can be all of these things at once. You may feel like you have no control over change, but you do. All of us do. We all have the power to choose how we respond to change. If we remain adaptable, we can respond to change in ways that will produce positive outcome. Syosset has prepared you, and the next step is up to you. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Chang. To speak on behalf of the Board of Education, please help me welcome Ms. Lisa Kosia, Vice President.
Good evening, everyone. Graduation ceremonies are a defining moment, not only for students, but for the parents, grandparents, family, and friends who have been there to support them and guide them. For us, it marks a beautiful transition, reflecting heartfelt pride in our children's accomplishments and a bittersweet acknowledgement of their journey towards independence. Their journey of life is a wild ride, especially when you have children. We watched you take your first steps, and now we will watch you take on the world. I recently read that the role of a mom is to prepare their child not to need them. And if you do it right, you are year by year working yourself out of a job. To all of you here tonight, and to those who may be unable to join us and are watching from home, congratulations. You all did a beautiful job. Any parent will tell you that it takes a village to raise a child, and I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to mention the team of Syosset teachers, administrators, coaches, and staff who dedicated countless hours to ensure our children have a solid foundation that they will take with them as they move on to the next chapter in their lives. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Graduates, the day has finally arrived, and after tonight, things will not be the same. You will be the person in charge of your destiny. There won't be anyone telling you when to be in class, who to become, or what path to take. You get to choose, which is both exciting and overwhelming in the best possible way. If you can stay with me for the next couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you some secrets of adulting. Connect. There is no substitute for real people, real conversation, and real connection. Seek it, prioritize it. I know it's not easy in this tech-heavy world, but I promise you it's worth it. Keep learning. Learn at work, at a university, as an apprentice, through books, a trade school, or online classes. It doesn't matter where or how, but take every opportunity to increase your knowledge. It's something that can never be taken away from you. Like your values. Take the time to figure out what really matters to you at your core and let those principles guide your decisions. Living a value-driven life will give you so much peace and purpose on this earth. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have. Exercise, eat nutritious food, drink water, and sleep. If you treat it well, it will help you fulfill your dreams. And step up. When everyone else passes the buck, leaves the mess, makes excuses, or walks away, choose to be different. Take responsibility. Own your part. Do more than your share. Take risks. Success is a fun companion, but failure is a beautiful teacher. Learn from both. Ask for help. You don't always have to be strong. We were created to need each other. You have so many people in your corner. Look around you tonight. Lean on us. Be humble. Perfection is an illusion. It's okay to not know, and it's okay to make mistakes. You have plenty of time to become an expert. And be kind. The world has enough hardness, cynicism, and anger. Be different. Think of others. Be patient and speak with love. See the good, say the good, and be the good. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to connect with all of you this evening. Graduates, time flies faster than you think. Enjoy the moments, make the memories, and appreciate the people you love, and don't forget to call home once in a while. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Kosia. And also to speak on behalf of the Board of Education, please help me welcome Ms. Lynn Abramson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to get through this without crying, but I really do make no promises. I'm not as eloquent as the people before me. When my son was working on his senior quote, he showed me one from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where Ferris says, "The question isn't what are we going to do? The question is what aren't we going to do?" And I thought, wow, what a great line. Now, if you've ever seen the movie, you know that while Ferris isn't the typical amazing Syosset student, he did understand something about life that's easy to forget. That the world is wide open with opportunity and that life moves faster than you think. Standing here today, looking at all of you, I can't help but think how far you've come. We've had the privilege of watching you grow from uncertain kids to confident young adults. We've seen you win, lose, succeed, and fail, sometimes all in the same week. We've seen the late nights, the early mornings, the moments of doubt, and the moments you surprised even yourselves. And through it all, we've seen something else too, resilience. The ability to get back up after a setback, to laugh at your mistakes, and to keep going even when the path wasn't clear. But tonight isn't just about what you did. The grades, the awards, those are real and you should be proud. But tonight is about what you will do next. And maybe even more than that, it's about what you won't let stop you. Because Ferris was right, and the real question isn't what are we going to do? You'll figure that out, one step, one choice at a time. The real question is, what aren't we going to do? Aren't you going to take risks? Aren't you going to dream bigger than what seems possible? Aren't you going to stand up for what matters, to make a difference, to live fully, and to not let fear dictate the size of your lives? Graduates, you've already proven you can learn, grow, and adapt. Now it's time to explore, to build, to fail, and to get back up again. So as you step out onto the next chapter, don't be afraid of the unknown. Be afraid of standing still. Be afraid of letting life pass by while you wait for the perfect moment. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Go out there and show the world not just what you're going to do, but what you aren't afraid to try. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Abramson. To speak on behalf of the Board of Education, please help me welcome Ms. Susan Falkoff.
Good evening, families, teachers, administrators, and most importantly, good evening to the class of 2026. Speaking at a graduation is always an honor, but it's extra special when you've had the privilege of watching the graduating class grow from tiny kindergarteners to the beautiful young people sitting before you. Tonight, we gather to celebrate a remarkable group of young people. Graduates, this evening is about you, your hard work, your perseverance, your growth, and the countless moments, both big and small, that brought you to this stage. Over the years, you have faced challenges, you've overcome disappointments, you've celebrated victories, and you've showed up when it mattered. You learn lessons that can never be measured by a test score or a transcript. And through it all, you became the extraordinary individual sitting before us today. For many of you, your connection to Syosset started in the classroom, but it expanded to the larger community where you discovered your passions and you grew your interests. You sang and acted, you learned good sportsmanship and teamwork, you made choices that impacted the world around you through advocacy and service, and you learned that our differences are beautiful and uniting. You started your journey to your future in the clubs and activities and teams that became your second home and your second families. You learned that dedication, commitment, hard work, and determination are the keys to success. Each of you is special in your own way. You have unique gifts, talents, dreams, and perspectives that no one else can offer. As author Dr. Seuss famously wrote, "Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Never underestimate the value of simply being yourself." Tonight is also a moment to thank the families who have walked beside you. Thank you for the rides, the encouragement, the sacrifices, and the unwavering belief in these graduates. Your love helped build the foundation that made this achievement possible. Graduates, wherever life may take you, never forget the people who cheered for you before anyone else did. As you prepare for college and the exciting journey ahead, remember that this is more than a new chapter. It's an opportunity to discover who you want to become. Take classes that spark your curiosity. Join clubs that challenge you. Explore interests you never considered before. Be open to new ideas, new experiences, and new friendships. One of the most beautiful things about college is that it gives you the chance to grow beyond what you already know. Some of your greatest passions may be things you haven't tried yet. The world does not need you to be like everybody else. It needs you to bring your own voice and your own talents to whatever you do. So dream boldly, work hard, stay kind, and believe in yourself. It has been a joy for all of us here to watch you grow up over the last 13 years. Always know that your parents and family cannot be prouder of your accomplishments. We can't wait to see all that you accomplish in the future, and always remember, Syosset will always be your home, and we will always be your biggest cheerleaders. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Falkoff. And to speak on behalf of the Board of Education, please help me welcome Mr. Brian Greco.
Hi, another board trustee, and I know you've been listening to a lot of speeches tonight, so I brought with me a stopwatch, and I promise to keep this under 2 minutes. So as some of you may know, I've spent, very few of them know, a few years working in football. Soccer, but I'm not allowed to say soccer, and more accurately in world football. And if I've learned one thing in that role, it's that there is a simple, undeniable truth that the game does not care about the zip code where you grew up. And thinking about that experience and comparing it with raising my children in Syosset, there is a stark difference. We truly are blessed to be able to live here, to go to this amazing school with these amazing or incredible resources and tremendous teachers and administrators. And as a parent, I'm of course so happy to be able to provide this foundation to my own children. It's quite the head start. But I dare to say it could also be a little bit of a bubble. And as you step out into this next chapter, the world may become a little bit more like the sport that I watch every day. And when I think about players like Vinicius Jr. from dirt streets in Brazil and Sadio Mane from some remote village in Senegal, being at the top of their profession, or even having a profession, was just an impossible dream. They had no trainers, no facilities, nothing to connect them to the job that they wanted, but they had an agonizing and beautiful and unending hunger to be the absolute best, and they outworked and outsuffered everybody around them and rose to the top. So Syosset has given you this spectacular foundation, but your hunger and your desire is still paramount. That's the message through football I hope to convey. Your next chapter is not about how amazing the high school is, and it is. It's entirely about what you're willing to give moving forward. To maximize your potential, you may need that exact same fierce and sometimes desperate hunger that pulled kids off concrete pitches in towns that we struggle to even imagine. Class of 2026, appreciate the start you've been given. Give thanks to your parents for all their love and support, but never let comfort make you soft. Find your drive, steady your backbone, and outwork your competition, and go build something great in this world. We all need it, and you all have it in you. Thank you. Literally 2 minutes on the button. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greco. Thank you. And now for the presentation of the class gift, please help me welcome Nikhil Shah and Janice Kang.
Good evening, everyone. I am so incredibly grateful to be standing up here tonight welcoming you all to the graduation ceremony for the Syosset High School class of 2026. I'm sure that after almost 13 years of education, all of our experiences were very different. Whether it was the classes we took, or the friendships we made, or the many hours that we spent in many different places, I'm pretty confident to say that there were more good times than bad. If you were sick and missed a day of school, your classmates were only a simple text away. If you ever felt alone, Syosset provided hundreds of clubs and groups to turn to. And most importantly, when you made a mistake, it meant that you were given the opportunity to learn from it. I'll forever be thankful for all the group projects and random classroom tables because it gave me irreplaceable friendships that I'll remember for years to come. And the endless support that came from teachers, faculty, and families, especially the parents, that make Syosset a community. The people sitting right next to you may not be your best friends, but maybe the people who made you laugh the hardest, gave you your favorite compliments, or maybe even helped you feel seen when you needed it the most. Thank you, Syosset High School, for giving me a wonderful place to go to, even though I didn't really have much of a choice. It was always full of people I was always happy to see. So thank you, Syosset Class of 2026, and all the people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Thank you and congratulations.
Parents, teachers, friends, good evening. I want to tell you something about the class of 2026 that I don't think gets said enough. Around this time of year, families and teachers praise our extraordinary accomplishments. Members of our class have conducted groundbreaking research, performed on the biggest stages, competed on the greatest courts, stadiums, and fields. The resume of our class is long, and it is genuinely impressive. But what has struck me most during these 4 years alongside you all is that our accomplishments shine only as bright as the character that fuels them. One of the great thinkers of our time, David Brooks, distinguishes between two kinds of virtues: our resume virtues, the achievements we list, and our eulogy virtues, the qualities people will remember us by when we're gone. Though our society consistently rewards building a resume, our class has chosen to build remarkable character. This struck me most earlier this year when tensions in our community regarding immigration enforcement ran high. Our peers came to student government and asked us for a space to be heard. So on a February afternoon, we opened the East Cafeteria for an open mic forum on immigration and protest in America, nonpartisan, unmoderated, and open to all viewpoints. Quite frankly, what followed shocked me. We sat across from people who disagreed with us. We listened, really listened, with compassion and a genuine effort to understand. And after each student spoke, we applauded, each and every one of us. While officials in Washington berated each other 300 miles away, a group of teenagers from Syosset, New York, set a hopeful example. Now, those qualities, they didn't come from nowhere. They were modeled for us by our families, teachers, and friends. Our elementary school teachers taught us patience, respect, integrity, determination, and empathy. Or as you may remember it, Syosset pride. Dr. Rogers, in his community newsletters, calls them our bright spots. Whatever you want to call it, our class has been shaped by these values for years. Today, I stand beside classmates who have worked to improve access to educational opportunities for underserved students in Africa, who have brought comfort to elderly in nursing homes through music, who have raised tens of thousands of dollars on our home turf for the fight against pediatric cancer, not because they wanted to get into a top college or pad their resume, but because they followed their core beliefs. As we leave Syosset and find ourselves surrounded by new influences and new definitions of success, we will face a world that increasingly prizes what can be automated and optimized. In that world, I think the eulogy virtues, the empathy, the courage to listen, the commitment to serving others, they're not just admirable, They are irreplaceable. They are what make us uniquely human, what no large language model can replicate. So as we take our next step, let us remember our bright spots and our Syosset pride, and let us think about the qualities we hope to carry beyond our time in Syosset. We will not all become famed musicians, senators, and Olympians. Most of us probably won't. But every single one of us can be humble. Every one of us can be respectful, determined, honest, and empathetic. Those qualities don't require a particular talent or resume. They only require us to choose them again and again, the way this class already has. So to the class of 2026, be accomplished, yes. Chase whatever it is that drives you, but never let go of the virtues that made you who you are tonight. That, more than anything else, is what I hope people remember about us. Lastly, on behalf of the class of 2026 and student government, I would like to thank all of the families, teachers, administrators, mentors, loved ones, and the entire Syosset High School community for your endless support. As a token of our gratitude, we present to you a class gift of a film projector and outside movie screen for you to enjoy. Congratulations again to the class of 2026, and thank you for a truly special 4 years.
Thank you, Nikhil and Janice. And now, please help me welcome the speaker for the class of 2026, Robert Liu Meng.
Good evening, everyone. Parents, families, teachers, friends, and most importantly, class of 2026. Ever since the first year or the first day we put in our IDs on the sign-in computers, we've been on a 4-year journey together as a class. Whether it's remembering how to write the right proofs for geometry, watching the Amoeba Sisters for biology, or doing titration labs for chemistry. Well, truly, we made it. And also, E90 is still too far of a class. I am more than sure that all of us are ready to jump out of our seats and can't wait for this commencement to end. But let's dial back a couple of years. Back in 2015, in her Harvard commencement speech address, our alumna, Natalie Portman, said that our kids, and kids at our school more specifically, had Prada bags, flat-ironed hair, and an accent. Looking around today, I can confirm the brands have changed. As for the hair, it's not so great, and none of us have our best hair underneath our caps. But the Syosset accent, I'm not too sure about that. Syosset, do not doubt your own success. I truly believe that everyone sitting next to you today, sharing a red and white cap and gown, will succeed in life. Because there is no doubt that anyone who comes to Syosset will come out far better than when they came in. Today, as we embark on our next journey, be it in college, trade school, the military, or starting a career, we will bring a little bit of Syosset with all of us to the far corners of the world. Through the past 4 years, we've endured exceptional challenges, APs, Common Apps, all the manifestations of teenage drama, but by far the worst, the New York stained faux ban. But we've made it. But I don't think these challenges will be the defining moments of our high school experience. We'll remember walking into class 2 minutes late and pretending it was normal, and asking someone what homework we had as if we were gonna do it anyways. And for you AI warriors out there, nervously submitting your essay in to turn it in, which you totally didn't ChatGPT the night before. You guys know who you are. Some of the most ordinary days are the ones we'll miss the most. Class of 2026, for the past 12 years, we've been learning everything about the world around us. Let's face it, we have a competitive student culture. But one thing we should never stop learning about today is love. Love doesn't need a 1600 SAT score, a national award, an acceptance to a top school, or as our generation puts it bluntly, or a farming. But for love, there are no exceptions. There are no senior cut days to it. So you might be asking to yourself, why should we learn about love? Well, somewhere between freshman year and today, we changed. We became more confident, more independent, more tired, and hopefully a little more wiser. We learned that success is not just getting the grade, the acceptance, or the award. It's learning how to keep going when things do not work out the way we planned. It's learning how to show up for people. It's learning that the person sitting next to you may have been fighting battles you never saw. While we are graduating today as seniors, just over a year ago as juniors, during junior day, our little families bonded around each other. And some of us were fighting things that you would have never thought of in the first place. And that's exactly what makes this class worth celebrating. Not our accomplishments, though there are many. Not just the colleges, careers, scholarships, performances, games, clubs, research service, and late nights that brought us here. But through all of it, we became a community. We grew up beside each other. We made mistakes beside each other. We became ourselves beside each other. Wherever we spend the rest of our lives, there will never be a time where we can greet someone in the hallway, grab lunch into our classroom with a generous portion of the school's nachos, and most importantly, hear Mr. Gessner's announcement say, While I was watching the movie Dead Poets Society, a verse struck me, written by Long Island's very own Walt Whitman, who gives his name to one of Syosset's elementary schools. Whitman tells us, "Of the poor results of all, of the plotting and sordid crowds I see around me, of the empty and useless years of the rest, with the rest me intertwined, puzzled. The question, oh me, so sad, recurring, what good amid these, oh me, oh life?" Whitman continues, and here is his answer, that you are here and that life exists, and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. Congratulations yet again, class of 2026.
Thank you again, Robert. We will now have the presentation of the awards. The first award is the Elizabeth T. Babcock Award. Elizabeth Babcock was a Board of Education member for over 25 years. This award, established by the Board of Education, is presented to a senior who personifies the qualities she possessed: generosity, caring, dedication, and giving of oneself for others. This year's recipient, Nikhil Shah. National Merit Finalists. Many of our students have been chosen to be recognized for their academic achievements through the National Merit Selection. These students have demonstrated a willingness to pursue academic excellence at every level of their education. The finalists are Carolyn Wang, Sanskriti Wattori, Derek Huang, Evan Lee, Gina Wang, Evan Pixwan Ding, Christopher Ancona, Kingsley Cheng, Selena Chu, Eliana Leader, Sean Lim, Yuran Liu. Grace Liu. Catherine Yu. Arjun Shah. Nikhil Shah. Shri Sungan Shriganesh. Sanvi Perry. Adrian Tong. Nitrin Rajagopalan. Daniel Huang. Nora Han. Tracy Z. And Sumer Singh. Regeneron Science Talent Search Scholars. 3 of our students reached semifinalist status in the Regeneron Science Talent Search for their outstanding work in research. Those students are Grace Liu. Yuran Liu. And Nikhil Shah. And at this time, please help me welcome the Salutatorian for the class of 2026, Sean Yang.
Wow. Good evening. First, on behalf of our entire graduating class, I would like to extend our gratitude to the esteemed teachers, parents, families, and administrators of Syosset. Your sacrifices and support have given us a foundation of knowledge and character that will carry us through a lifetime. Your belief in us has carried us through the dark and provided us with the confidence to reach the light. Tonight is also a celebration of all of you. As I've reflected on the people most influential in my life, I've also thought about the ways I've allowed others' opinions to shape me. I think I'm a bit of a people pleaser. If you've asked me for a ride in the last few months, 9 times out of 10 I've said yes. I've made commitments and promises in the heat of the moment that there was no way I could keep, and I rarely find myself openly disagreeing with others. Now, I'm not unique for thinking I'm a people pleaser. Roughly half of Americans self-identified as people pleasers in a 2024 poll, and it's hardly surprising. Receiving approval from others, belonging to the group, the pack, is a necessity developed for human survival. But this leads to a tendency to outsource our self-worth and sacrifice our own personality, perhaps our own values in the process. In a time where external approval is so constantly sought, it starts to feel as though everybody's always performing for someone else. All the world's a stage, Shakespeare says, and that couldn't be closer to the truth today. I'm sure you've heard a million times that social media has worsened our reliance on others for approval, that attention in the form of followers, likes, and comments is quantified and designed to reward catering to large audiences. We're encouraged to present an optimized version of ourselves, yet self-esteem and self-image among teens is at an all-time low. This has been complicated by the understandable desire to be more unique and have a non-conforming personality, both online and offline. So we pursue nicheness, which entails developing cool, specific interests, tastes, and hobbies to spice up our personalities. And so we engage in LARPing, which entails pretending to have cool, specific interests, tastes, and hobbies to spice up our personalities, and reposting videos about them. So it seems that insincerity is now commonplace. For the sake of convenience, many of us now rely on AI to write articles, essays, assignments, and posts as if they came from our own thoughts. And even if you do think and write for yourself, you'll be exposed, inevitably, to AI-generated content within 5 seconds of opening LinkedIn or even just using Google. And this erosion of authenticity doesn't just stop when we look up from the screen. Our everyday conversations have become so loaded with irony to the point where we have to filter our language with words and phrases like unironically, I can't lie, hear me out, or low-key, genuinely, low-genuinely. We no longer assume sincerity in our daily exchanges, and we have to constantly announce when we're being honest and when we're not. In class discussions, it's become increasingly rare to hear people voice and stand by defensible opinions, engage in nuanced conversation, or even admit that they don't understand what's going on. And I think part of the reason is that to be authentic is to be vulnerable, to take the mask off and risk disapproval. On a similar note, a Pew Research poll found that the number of Americans who think most people cannot be trusted or can be trusted has declined since 1972 from 46 to 34%. And now, there is an undeniable and necessary degree of performance that goes into being human. After all, a good performance and a good impression can make or break a job interview or a first date. But we shouldn't perform to the point where existing among other people feels increasingly lonely because you can't tell if anyone is genuine. Not your peers, not your friends, not even yourself. I do think there is hope, though. A good portion of people are aware of this crisis of authenticity. The immense backlash to AI, for example, is fueled by a deep human desire to see human art, to listen to human music, and sometimes to talk to an actual human at customer service. The popularity of terms like LARPer seems to arise from a similar desire to weed out those who are only pretending to like what you like, the same way we want to weed out robots pretending to be human. At Syosset, I've seen so many examples of students staying true to themselves and following their honest passions. I've seen someone voluntarily organize a Discord server to share study resources and hold review sessions. I've seen someone choose not to take all the AP classes in order to follow their calling and day trade to 6 figures and beyond. And as Nikhil mentioned, in February, I also witnessed the open forum in the cafeteria where students expressed their sincere opinions on contemporary politics. I've seen our students devote time to causes that mean something to them, whether it's caring for the elderly and dementia patients, or stomping out sarcoma, or being peer leaders, or breaking borders, or supporting underserved communities, or spreading awareness about violence and destructive decisions. I've also seen people pour their hearts into writing songs, making games, creating art, playing sports because they felt like it and truly enjoyed it, even if it didn't produce stunning results. Because you can authentically love something without being an expert at it. You can even love the Knicks during the NBA Finals. Though you might get called a LARPer, you don't have to be a die-hard fan of something to express your enthusiasm. All the world's a stage, yes, but we can be the playwrights. So be honest with yourself, despite, of course, societal and cultural pressures, despite peer pressures, despite the temptation to people please, despite pressures from the internet and nicheness and LARPers and ChatGPT, despite pressures from your siblings, from your parents, your teachers, administrators, professors, managers, despite pressures from the people who care the absolute most about you, and despite pressures from those who care the absolute least, despite so many voices each demanding something else, be honest with yourself. To the class of 2026, in a world that constantly demands performance, let us have the courage to be sincere, be honest about what we love, what we believe, what we know, and what we don't know. We owe it to ourselves as graduates of one of the best high schools in the nation to live our own truest, most honest lives. Congratulations to you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Sean. And at this time, will you please help me welcome the class of 2026 valedictorian, Grace Liu.
Thank you, Dr. Durante, for that introduction. Please raise your hand if you know what Bean Boozled jelly beans are. Thank you. For those who don't, it's a game where you have two identical jelly beans, but one could taste like a juicy pear and the other like a booger. You have no idea until you try it. Good evening, families, teachers, Board of Education, administrators, and the Syosset class of 2026. I want to start with a huge thank you to everyone here tonight. We, as a class, are here because of your efforts. Shout out to my mom, dad, and little sister Jessica. I'm really thankful for your love and support. To all of the families here tonight, you are the giants whose shoulders we stand upon. As I reflect on our years at Syosset, I keep coming back to one word: curiosity. So before we look forward to futures awaiting us, I'd like to look back at some fond memories. Now, I've been a foodie all my life, so I thought, what better way to commemorate this moment than by talking about food? Like recently, during a free period, my friends brought in jelly beans. We passed the box around the cafeteria table, taking turns guessing whether we'd get something delicious or something that tastes suspiciously like a cleaning product. And yes, this doesn't sound like the most profound academic experience, but in a way, it was curiosity in its purest form. Just a group of us asking, what happens if we try something new? Sometimes the answer is strawberry banana smoothie, other times it's stinky socks. That same curiosity was there during Multicultural Day, but parents, don't worry, the food tasted a lot better than stinky socks. Curiosity was there when we tried foods from different cultures. We pretended like it wasn't our fourth time going back to all the tables. What made that day so meaningful was the chance to taste something unfamiliar and, in the process, become a little more curious about cultures beyond our own. A few weeks ago, we visited our elementary schools during the senior clap-out day. Shout out to Berry Hill, by the way. I received a letter from my 5th grade self at the time that my teacher, Mrs. Kaplan, had kept for 7 years. In the letter, I wrote, "I really want a cat. But besides that, I also wrote, I think the best part of high school will be all of the friends I make, all of the things I learn, and all of the fun I will have. So maybe 11-year-old Grace did have a point there because she didn't write about what GPA she'd hope for. She wasn't thinking about what colleges she'd apply to. She wanted to discover things. She was fearlessly curious. She would have tried every flavor in the jelly bean box. When we were younger, we had these big, unfiltered dreams. We wanted to be astronauts, world changers, princesses, sometimes all at once. We asked 5,000 questions every minute because we wanted to know why the world worked the way it did and how we might change it someday. And now I wonder, when did we stop dreaming like that? Somewhere between entering freshman fall and now exiting senior spring, we traded wonder and curiosity for metrics and stress. We started measuring ourselves in SAT scores, college results, club leadership positions, and the harrowing thought of getting a job. I'm not saying ambition is bad, but we somehow forgot that our instinct to explore was once something done out of fascination, not just evaluation. We became very good at trying to choose the right jelly bean, the right class, the right activity, the right college, the right future. But a meaningful life isn't built only on avoiding the bad flavors, but by being brave enough to taste them, learn, and keep going. Our instinct to be curious matters now more than ever. We're entering a world where AI answers almost any question typed into it. But what AI will not do is wonder. It won't stay up too late because it was fascinated by something no one assigned it. It won't be curious about the taste of a toothpaste-flavored jelly bean. And it certainly won't walk into its old elementary school and tear up reading a letter from its 5th grade self. Curiosity, and I mean genuine, restless, human curiosity, is what built AI in the first place. It's what built science, art, friendship, community, and so much of what makes life meaningful. Curiosity is one of the few things that is still distinctly ours. In fact, when I think about our graduating class, I see this stadium full of people who became a little too curious in things in the best way possible. We have students who spent months researching questions a lot of us can't even pronounce. We have musicians who spent hours perfecting the same few stanzas. We have students who started clubs, podcasts, fundraisers, all just because they had an idea and thought, why don't I try this? That's the spirit that brought our girls' cross-country team to states this year. That's the spirit that made our girls' tennis team New York State champions. And that's the spirit that brought 19 forensic students to nationals. That's the spirit behind countless artists, volunteers, and everyone else who cared enough to try something difficult. Curiosity has built our history, and the future belongs to people who keep asking great questions. So as we leave here tonight, perhaps some questions we should ask ourselves are, what would you do if everyone led with openness instead of fear? And who would you become if you allowed yourself to wonder again? Some of us know exactly what's next. Others have absolutely no idea. I sure don't. But that's okay, because life will give us all kinds of flavors, some sweet, some bitter. But I hope we never become so afraid of the bad flavors that we stop reaching into the box. In the words of Miss Avalone, don't worry, be brilliant. In the words of Dr. Dwyer, life is nonlinear, so just embrace the moment. And in the words of Mr. Schwen, I hope you all have a highly adequate day. Congratulations again, Syosset class of 2026. May we stay curious enough to discover the good, brave enough to taste the bad, and open enough to find meaning in every flavor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. We will now have the presentation of the diplomas. We're going to do the first row first. Grace Liu. Oh, sorry. Oh, guys, do it again. Thank you, Grace. Congrats. Sean Yang. Nikhil Shah. Janice Kang. Robert Liu Meng.
Christopher Ancona.
Selena Chu.
Kingsley Chang.
Nora Han.
Evan Ding.
Gina Huang.
Daniel Huang.
Eliana Letter.
Derek Huang.
Yiran Liu.
Evan Lee.
Grace Liu.
Sean Lim.
Sanvi Perry.
Do you want this back? I wasn't supposed to do this.
Nitin Rajagopalan.
Sanskriti Rathor.
Arjun Shah.
Carolyn Wang.
Sumer Singh.
Tracy Shi.
Adrian Tong.
Catherine Yu.
Shri Sugan Shriganesh.
Juliet Morali.
Elliot B.
Nandika Salhotra.
Charles Freeman.
Riley Shaffritz.
Samuel Gerson.
Lisa Yasinoff.
Samuel Han.
Shiwen Zhang.
Ethan Hong.
Layla Abraham.
Joshua Theo Kim.
Gianna Afatato.
Ivan Kwok.
Zana Ahmud.
Alexander Maladi.
Sophia Akmal.
Tangjuan Chow.
Taya Alexandru.
Alexander Sabatino.
Yafa Alishayeva.
Hohin Wu.
Ishal Aladdin.
Andrew Abelman.
Tiana Elaine.
Noah Abramson.
Samantha Amin.
Arik Abrar.
Georgia Antoniadis.
Giovanni Accardo.
Jamie Beck.
Jackson Adler.
Ria Ball.
Aman Ahmed.
Riley Basile.
Alexander Ahn.
Ria Batra.
Patrick Albrecht.
Lily Bloom.
Ali Al-Saidi.
Campbell Breen.
Thomas Adradi.
Emma Bruno.
Gabriel Andriolas.
Layla Bruno.
Antonio Antonacci.
Sydney Buckwald.
Nicholas Antonacci.
Hannah Burstein.
Aiden Anzalone.
Isha Butani.
Alex Appel.
Leah Calderon.
Jack Auerbach.
Audrina Cow.
Lucas Avni.
Audrey Chan.
Alfred Baichu.
Jasmine Chen.
Jonathan Bao.
Lena Chen.
Kyle Bao.
Taya Chen.
David Bartlett.
Yiwan Melody Chen.
Zachary Byatt.
Zoe Chu.
Liam Bell.
Abigail Cho.
Stephen Bender.
Chilby Kolu. Linda Chilby Kolu.
Max Benson.
Juliana Cosia.
Noah Birch.
Domenica Cracciolo.
Michael Bevilacqua.
Sienna Como.
Neve Butani.
Claudia Kusa.
Oliver Blank.
Bofei Deng.
David Bobby.
Vanessa Therese DeVito.
Jesse Bockstein.
Maya Drossman.
Jake Breaker.
Betul Durgan.
Carter Bulleru.
Ritika Alongo.
Leonardo Cabrera Reyes.
Julia El Morali.
Joshua Kai.
Quincy Eliyahu.
Kyle Kai.
Samara Epstein.
Kai Catapano.
Hannah Eskin.
Jalen Chan.
Kate Esposito.
Ryan Chan.
Whitney Etra.
Timothy Chan.
Victoria Fakini.
Aiden Chantempson.
Ava Farhat.
Kyle Chantempson.
Catherine Fay.
Sean Chawla.
Rain Feynman.
Daniel Chen.
Julia Feldman.
Eric Chen.
Vienna Fang.
Ivan Chen.
Logan Ferenz.
Calvin Chen.
Sydney Ferrante.
Kenneth Chen.
Kira Finkelstein.
Mingxuan Chen.
Ava Fiore.
Andrew Cheng.
Hannah Fischler.
Emerson Cheng.
Sloan Friedland.
Zachary Chu.
Alexa Friedman.
Ethan Chow.
Caitlin Fu.
Fayed Chowdhury.
Sakura Fujita.
Aiden Cleary.
Rin Furukawa.
Aiden Cohn.
Sophia Gaitanis.
Luis Cruz.
Julia Galfont.
Christian Curdo.
Anne Gao.
Aryan Defku.
Ziyi Gao.
Jake Dappis.
Gladys Gill.
Michael D'Angelo.
Blake Glazer.
Alessandro De Rosa.
Avery Goldberg.
Joseph DeBacco.
Ramy Goldberg.
Aiden Dieppe.
Molly Graboy.
Ethan Dekansky.
Carly Granoff.
Fengwan Ding.
Jordan Greco.
Ethan Dizon.
Brianna Guardado.
Matthew Dong.
Liliana Guardado.
Christian Eliani.
Dia Gupta.
Benjamin Ellis.
Vivian Halligan.
Amir El Sendioni.
Yara Hamoud.
Robert Engel.
Leah Hasselbring.
Samuel Etra.
Olivia Hatz.
Nathaniel Eustachi.
Sumyi Ho.
Jesse Fagan.
Isabella Howe.
Maxwell Fagan.
Alice Huang.
Benjamin Falcove.
Siming Huang.
Joseph Finelli.
Haley Huang.
Aiden Farrell.
Clara Ibrahim.
Christopher Fazzolari.
Julia Isham.
Jason Feldman.
Anika Jha.
Anthony Fiore.
Sharon Jin.
Daniel Flynn.
Brooke Cada.
Jacob Fogel.
Sarah Katz.
Samuel Fogel.
Ansh Kaur.
Christian Frangus.
Harmihar Kaur.
Trey Friedman.
Yitong K.
Joe Funatomi.
Madison Keenan.
Darren Gao.
Lindsay Keschner.
Max Garibaldi.
Sophie Keel.
Zusu Ge.
Alexis Yanje Kim.
Justin George.
Olivia Kim.
Braden Gershon.
Claire Cobette.
Jacob Getz.
Susan Kobe.
Samuel Goffer.
Chloe Kornreich.
William Gold.
Jillian Kralstein.
Emmett Goldberg.
Shivani Kumar.
Ethan Goldberg.
Deborah Quack.
Max Goldstein.
Elizabeth Lively.
Chuhao Gong.
Ella Lanza.
Austin Grabois.
Ashley Lau.
Justin Graff.
Katie Lau.
Giovanni Greco.
Hannah Lee.
Justinian Grigoris.
Hannah Yunsa Lee.
Tianhong Guan.
Irene Lee.
Justin Guo.
Jacqueline Lee.
Amir Hamid.
Victoria Lee.
Gary Han.
Keira Leung.
Brandon Harris.
Casey Lee.
Brandon Ho.
Minky Lee.
Jake Hoffman.
Veronica Lee.
Judah Honig.
Shinping Lee.
Huayuan Hu.
Zishun Lee.
Benjamin Huang.
Clara Liang.
Jaden Huang.
Stephanie Liang.
Chris Hui.
Valerie Liang.
Nathan G.
Alexa Lim.
Brendan Jiang.
Allison Lin.
Daniel Jin.
Annie Lin.
Daniel John.
Kara Lin.
Joash John.
Chloe Lin.
Alexander Josephy.
Madison Lin.
Arthur Kaplan.
Melody Lynn.
Hitesh Katula.
Suhan Lin.
Zachary Katz.
Joyce Liu.
Barial Zeb Khan.
Xiaoyang Liu.
Sohan Khan.
Gianna Laverty.
David Kill.
Morgan Lowe.
Christopher Kim.
Addison Lubman.
Daniel Kim.
Liam Lupo.
Jonah Kim.
Abiha Man.
Joshua T. Kim.
Juliana McCaskill.
Joshua Kleiner.
Sydney Mala.
Gavin Korn.
Ekaterini Mantekis.
Jordan Kurtzer.
Stephanie Marcheret.
Sean J. Lee.
Brooke Marish.
Sean Lee.
Rianne Martin.
Cody Lefkowitz.
Rubina Mayan.
Jinrui Lee.
Brooke Mayer.
Darren Leung.
Madison McKeefrey.
Brody Levine.
Avani Mehta.
Lance Levy.
Rachel Messer.
Ruidong Lee.
Daniela Messina.
Zhangxi Li.
Hannah Metz.
David Lieberman.
Alyssa Miali.
Andrew Lim.
Samantha Milligan.
Brandon Lim.
Emiko Mishiagno.
Andrew Lim.
Shayna Masorik.
Evan Lim.
Alexandra Mitrotasios.
Ivan Lin.
Jennifer Medina.
Justin Lin.
Misha Munir.
Raymond Lin.
Sarah Murphy.
Andy Ling.
Callie Nadell.
Max Littman.
Lana Nanus.
Andre Liu.
Isha Nayak.
Chris Luke.
Harper Neworth.
Austin Ma.
Rihanna Goy.
Joshua Ma.
Sue Neon.
Cole McGuire.
Candice Pan.
Caden Mahoney.
Shirley Pan.
Ethan Mala.
Reina Panjvani.
Michael Mandery.
Stella Park.
Phoenix Mango.
Isabel Park.
Dylan Manjabin.
Mihika Patel.
Tianyu Mao.
Leah Paulus.
Matthew Morano.
Camilla Perea.
Harrison March.
Adriana Perez da Silva.
Zachary Marmer.
Sarah Perez.
Dylan Marvin.
Juliette Poitramol.
Raphael Masari.
Madison Poon.
Nevin Matthews.
Lily Portnoy.
Spencer McAlpine.
Kylie Provence.
Ian Mehta.
Rankau Punyapornwataya.
Jaden Melandro.
Saisha Puri.
Gavin Menz.
Roma Puthasari.
Gerasimos Metaxas.
Amira Rahimi.
Matthew Mianuli.
Juliana Regosa.
Michael Mifsud.
Oma Ranga.
Daniel Ming.
Naya Raihan.
Justin Mock.
Sienna Rennie.
Samuel Moon.
Hannah Rivner.
Wilfredo Moreno Espinal.
Sophia Roberto.
Abu Bakar Mazawala.
Giovanna Rosillo.
Rishab Ali Muhammad.
Kristen Roy.
Ashaz Nadim.
Kaya Rubendahl.
Rohit Naveen.
Naya Rubin.
Gavin Eng.
Veda Sabarinoff.
Jaden Eng.
Supriya Kaur Sachdeva.
Alexander Okin.
Mahi Sani.
Brennan Oliver.
Brett Saronic.
Jake Unglenko.
Emerson Schaefer.
Ryan Umen.
Abigail Schlenoff.
Jiho Park.
Samantha Schneider.
Jimin Park.
Gabriella Schwarz.
Samuel Park.
Ashna Shah.
Anik Paul.
Kaya Shah.
Justin Paul.
Julie Shaughnessy.
Tyler Phillip.
Tahira Shakani.
Riley Piper.
Madison Shum.
Giovanni Polidoro.
Sienna Silva.
Jordan Paleo.
Remy Silverman.
Xavier Poltz.
Gia Singh.
Edwin G.
Anjali Sinha.
Charles Chin.
Jenna Sisson.
Eric Chu.
Penelope Smith.
Grant Chu.
Emma So.
Anthony Quattrochi.
Brooke Soderland.
Saifin Raja.
Yahi Song.
Brian Ramirez.
Rhea Sood.
Andrew Ramkishan.
Anya Steinberger.
Hasnan Rashid.
Carol Sun.
Jackson Rathman.
Layla Suriel.
Jeffrey Reese.
Zara Talasazan.
Arkady Rivkin.
Bernadette Tam.
Justin Rodriguez.
Huiling Tan.
Ryan Rosenfeld.
Leon Tan.
Jack Rossiter.
Suri Tan.
Shuja Roy.
Hebe Tang.
Hassan Salman.
Anjali Tapar.
Jeremy Samuel.
Ava Thornton.
Raul Sandoval.
Serena Tiku.
Dylan Santucci.
Anjali Tooley.
Joseph Sauracker.
Giada Toscano.
Casey Schiller.
Autumn Treyu.
Ryder Schloss.
Minerva Sang.
Brendan Schoenberg.
Kaylee Sue.
Ethan Schwartz.
Catherine Ung.
Ben Siegel.
Emily Unger.
Soham Sharma.
Cameron Valentine.
Kyle Sherman.
Kayla Varghese.
William Shee.
Zoe Vulgaris.
Ethan Schlemovich.
Rita Wanesian.
Wesley Siegler.
Gianni Wang.
Noah Singer.
Rachel Wang.
Montek Singh.
Rohan Wang.
Ari Skalutis.
Sydney Wang.
Bradley Somer. Yori Spanos.
Elizabeth Way.
Angelo Stravropoulos.
Jamie Weiss.
Ryan Steinberg.
Chloe Wong.
Chase Stern.
Ruby Wong.
Noah Storch.
Tiffany Wong.
Nicholas Stragalis.
Wendy Wong.
Nicholas Suma.
Chloe Wu.
Samuel Sunshine.
Sunny Wu.
Vincent C.
Emily Shu.
Jinqiang Tang.
Katie Yan.
Anai Tayel.
Madison Yan.
Alex Tepper.
Lila Yaris.
Jason Testa.
Annalise Yee.
Sean Theobald. Nathan Thomas.
Evie Ye.
Dylan Tong.
Shin Yu.
Damon Trevetti.
Sydney Youngman.
Roman Tse.
Remy Zabin.
Nicholas Cialis.
Alexandra Zell.
Kenneth Tung.
Aishwan Zhang.
Jeffrey Tvet.
Angela Zhang.
Joshua Vitali.
Shihan Zhang.
Logan Vogel.
Shinyang Zhang.
Arav Walia.
Iris Zhao.
Rongcheng Wang.
Janice Zhao.
Brody Waxer.
Yiming Zhao.
Joshua Weisenfeld. Brody Weissman. Justin Wen. Justin Wen. Rourke Whiteman. Brian Wong. Eric Warren. Jaden Wu. Minyang Zi. Chenhao Xia. Christopher Zhu. Jiesheng Zhu. Vincent Yang. Anson Yi. Noah Yu. Mark Yuen. Chengshui Yun. Nabit Zehan. Andrew Zamet. Brandon Zeller. Eric Zeltzer. Jason Zhang. Victor Zhao. Joey Joe. Jonathan Joe. Tianrui Zhou. Eric Zhu. And Ari Zyman.
Can we just get one more hand for the class of 2026? One big round of applause. Thank you. And as we conclude the ceremony, I would like to remind everyone that we will have a formal recessional. Please, parents and guests, remain in your seats until all of the graduates have exited the arena. Parents and all other guests, after the recessional, please exit the arena through the same location where you entered it. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. To the class of 2026, now that you have walked across the stage and received your diplomas, it is with great pleasure that I declare you graduates of Syosset High School. Congratulations!